This news program is proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Now Biscuits.
Pacific Islands Telecommunications Association Conference to commence on Monday. Election Summit to bring different stakeholders together. And Abao District Hospital is the first district hospital in the province. Good evening, you're watching National EMTV News. I'm Grace Papiali. Thank you for joining us. The Pacific Islands Telecommunications Association, or PITA Conference, is set to commence come Monday, the 29th of May 2023. The conference will be held at the Hilton Hotel in Port Moresby. Telecom Limited will be hosting Pacific Islands Telecommunications Association Conference with over 300 participants expected to attend from 37 countries. Speaking to EMTV News, Telecom Limited CEO Mr. Amos Tappy highlighted the staging of this significant event.
And about 320 delegates. Out of that, about 50 organizations registered. And there will be a booth set up on the site. We got about 38 or 39 booths set up where our members will mingle around and see what's on the showcase will be done, all those booths. With that, as you know, it's one of the events that held first of its kind here in the country. After 67 years, Telecom Limited, since existence of Telecom, they are also a member of PITA, but they haven't hosted the event like that for over 67 years.
Mr. Tappy went on to outline what is expected of this conference commencing Monday, the 29th of May, 2023.
Our telecom industry is, I think they will take more out of this meeting, where we have more technology things that they will be on display, or some discussions at that level will give leverage for all the PITA members to see what is there. And these companies that are coming, 50 organizations are registered, and they come in. And so that will actually help the PITA members to take something back when they leave.
Already in the country in preparation to attend the conference is the manager for PITA, Mr. Fred Christopher. Mr. Christopher highlighted on some of the expectations they have for the conference.
This is actually primarily organized for the interests of the Pacific Island members, and we are so fortunate that we have a lot of industry players attending who will be here to share on their knowledge and all the updates on technology and the possible solutions. So everyone is here to see what they can work together with their peers and with experts on some of the solutions and how to overcome, help them address some of their challenges back home. So it's purely technical business. There will be a lot of discussions on policy and regulatory as well, because, you know, telecom, you cannot talk about technology on its own or regulatory on its own, so it's all combined. So there are also regulatory and government members attending apart from the telcos, as Mr. Tipi has mentioned.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this will be the first time post-COVID to have a face-to-face conference, as explained by Mr. Tappy.
PITA 27th AGM Business Forum here in Port Moresby and PNG is after COVID-19. And this is one of the big events that is coming together, face-to-face meeting. And so, and that takeaway from this is going to be more interaction, more sharing, and then also looking at how we can leverage on each other's of all the countries that we've been apart for the past few years when the COVID hit.
Mr. Tappy expressed appreciation to the government, sponsors and partners and the Pacific Islands Telecommunications Association for having the confidence in Telecom Limited in hosting this prestigious event in PNG. This PETA 27 conference is also seen as an opportunity for new business partnership developments and for business to network with their colleagues from the 37 countries who will be in attendance. Florence John Duo, National EMTV News.
Meantime, the manager for Pacific Islands Telecommunications Association, Mr. Fred Christopher, went on to highlight how important connectivity is.
And the ubiquity of our delivery of services, now that we need every citizen to be connected, you need that kind of ubiquity so that it can be connected anywhere, anytime, and whatever devices that you want. And of course, with climate change and various disasters, is for the resilience of our services and our networks. That includes also the cyber attacks and things. So there's a lot of strengthening.
The National Election Summit will bring a range of different stakeholders together to consider lessons learned from the 2022 national election. The aim of the summit is to hear real perspectives and then use that information to formulate recommendations for reforms.
Elections in Papua New Guinea are much worse than Papua New Guineans deserve. While there has been violence and there have been deaths, no citizen should die in an election. With this in mind, the government is conducting a summit for the 2022 general election. According to the Chief Secretary to the government, Ivan Pomaleyu, spaces are limited.
Public notices have been placed in the national newspapers and interested members of the public can register to attend. Numbers are limited, so it is important to register before the event.
And given an overview of the 3 days, the Chief Secretary revealed that on day one of the summit, we'll see and hear people involved directly in the elections.
The summit will hear from a range of speakers. The chairman of the Special Parliamentary Committee on the 2022 national elections, the Honourable Alan Bird, will deliver the keynote address. Other speakers will be drawn from the community and private sector, non-government organizations, international organizations and donors, and representatives of key government departments and agencies.
Independent think tank bodies National Research Institute and the Australian National University will record proceedings, and on day 2 and 3, a smaller group will be working on the recommendation. The Chief Secretary elaborated on this.
These recommendations will form a report that is to be provided to the Special Parliamentary Committee and the National Executive Council to inform future reforms. After the summit, the hard work of reforming our electoral system will commence. This will include putting forward detailed policy positions for government to consider.
Prime Minister James Marape has assured the nation that he expects Papua New Guinea to have a reformed election system by the year 2030, and this election summit leads the way to the reform. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
Kopiano Station in the Abau district of the Central Province came alive yesterday, marking an important milestone in the history of health service delivery with the opening of Abau District Hospital, the first district hospital in the province.
Built at a cost of 18 million kina under the government's tax credit scheme facilitated by the National Planning and the Central Provincial Health Authority, the construction of the hospital was initially managed by Oil Search until the merger with Santos, and was officially opened by Prime Minister James Marape and Central Governor Rufina Pira. Effective health service delivery has always been a problem, especially in a country like PNG, and after waiting for over a decade, the people of Abau District have something to finally smile and celebrate as the new district hospital was opened yesterday.
Thank you.
in this very hospital. And so personally, it is a very, very special occasion for me. My mom was telling me when I was born here, they had no water, so they had to go down to the river to fetch water. And so when I showed her the video, she was telling me, this is a far cry from what you were born in. So people of Apau and people of Kupiano, Pio Verere, Emioti Peloikana, and mothers will be giving birth safely and in a very modern facility.
About district in the central province has a total land area of almost 7,000 square kilometers, and a significant part of the district are in the coastal areas, which is where the district station Kupiano is located, and sitting ideally on the heart of Kupiano station overlooking the bay and opposite the office of the local level government is the newly built state-of-the-art level 3 hospital.
All those things. So I'm very, very thankful for this particular hospital. As under our laws, the Provincial Health Authority has taken charge. We just initiated it, but CEO Dr. James Amin and his team, and Chairman Ezekiel Taureka and his board, Deputy Chairperson is here, will give her a chance to speak. We have now handed over every health facility and services to them. But I, as a member for Apau, we will always believe in partnership.
The challenge for the new district hospital was highlighted by the Governor of Central Province, Rufina Pita.
When we put this, we are also reminded, and I want to echo again what the Apau member has said, we need water and we need power to be able to run these facilities effectively and efficiently.
The Prime Minister James Marape, while celebrating with the people the completion and opening of the new hospital, said he was embarrassed that the people had to wait for 13 years to have a modern facility built.
I want to rebuke those in the sectors of government when leadership ask for work to take place. It's not good enough to open this hospital many more years later. It's not good enough.
Prime Minister and the delegation.
My Deputy Chair, you and your team rise up, National Planning rise up, when leadership asks for work to take place, facilitate ASAP. Facilitate ASAP. This was a 2010 project. We could open this project in 2013, 14, 12. How comes we opening it in 2022 when people have already died? This is not good enough, public servant. When instructions are passed, get up, get going, make it happen ASAP.
The hospital already has 2 certified residential medical officers, and with a population of 55,000, the medical practitioners are looking forward to assisting the people. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, the people of Apau District united together as they celebrated the opening of the new district hospital. 55,000 people who live in the Apau District can now have access to modern health facilities less than an hour away.
Over 55,000 people from the Amazon Bay Rural, Cloudy Bay Rural and Aroma Rural can now access improved healthcare services following the opening of the Apau District Hospital yesterday.
All right, thank you. God bless.
Locals joined the dignitaries and even packed a small arena just to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister and his entourage. The children danced and sang, while women and men sang traditional and contemporary songs. The new hospital facilities include a new emergency centre, pathology lab, birthing suites. Other new facilities include paediatric and maternity wards, as well as additional offices, water systems, hospital equipment and staff houses. Petena Dinago is a local mother from Kupiano Station. She was thankful to everyone that assisted in building the new district hospital.
Mi plasa establo nogat marasen nogat wanem mi plasa stab ikam kana mi wet class mi kama finish. Now you plo pim this lausik mi amamas mi thank you lo you plo rogeta what na family. Osena now you pla kisim this la mi amamas too because ausik blom pla you pla kam opim or something you pla wokim by pla stab good pla.
Representing the young youth population was Emmanuel Bao, a student from the local Kupiano High School, and this was his thoughts on the opening of the new hospital.
About the opening of the new hospital was like new thing to us. Yeah. And all of us, are really excited because since the previous years, when the people, mothers, they find it really hard with the hospital, about the facilities are really run down, and now they renovate to make new ones. It's like a blessing to us, the people, And with that, I believe it will help, and help more people.
Rachel Tepoka is a young woman who is not from Abao, but her father has worked and lived at the station as a public servant. Having grown up at the station, she knows all too well the struggles of the past and shared her thoughts on the new district hospital.
I've watched the launching of the hospital, new hospital has been launched, and it's groundbreaking ceremony. I watched and witnessed everything right before my eyes, and now that it's opened, I'm so honored and privileged that I've served in Abao province for the last 13 years. It's going to help the local people as well as young people to have a basic service, health services that is right next to our station. My dream is to become a nurse. I would like to serve in this hospital.
The concerns for the hospital at the moment is electricity and water, and said Dr. Pukatemu, the Abao MP, is looking for a suitable contractor and funds to ensure a permanent solution is found going forward. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Prime Minister James Marape will be looking to strengthen economic relations between the Republic of Korea and Papua New Guinea as he left the country today to attend the first Korea Pacific Island Summit in Seoul, which will be held from Monday 29 to 30th May 2023. Prime Minister Marape will also be having a bilateral meeting with Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol.
Following Monday's successful Forum for India-Pacific Islands Cooperation Summit attended by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and U.S. Pacific Island Forum Summit attended by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Port Moresby, Prime Minister James Marape left for Korea for the summit and will meet to discuss issues of climate change as well as furthering bilateral relations between Korea and the Pacific Island nations. The Korea-PNG trade was worth $1.8 billion or 6.33 billion kina in 2022, a massive 240% increase from 2021, something that Prime Minister Marape will be looking to improve on. Marape said, and I quote, trade volume in 2022 between Korea and Papua New Guinea recorded $1.8 billion US, which was a 240% increase compared to the previous year. I believe it shows how our economic relations are complementary to each other, which means there is greater potential for both development and cooperation. End quote. The Republic of Korea and Papua New Guinea have complementary economies because Korea has the experience of growth and high-level technology, while PNG has high growth potential as well as rich resources. Korea has grown from one of the poorest countries in the world to one of the G10 countries in the world, which is why Prime Minister Marape wants to establish win-win relations with them based on mutual understanding. Prime Minister Marape said the big increase in trade between Korea and PNG had not gone unnoticed by his government and there was room for even more growth. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso is acting Prime Minister until Marape returns. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
The country leader has commended the University of Papua New Guinea and University of Technology students, respectively, for what he described as an intellectual conduct during their sit-in protest staged during the FIPIC summit. Prime Minister James Marape said on the recent protests by UPNG and UOT students, including students from other tertiary institutions, as well, was exemplary.
Prime Minister James Marape says although actions of protests were indicated by the students, it did not spill over to the streets, and for that he commended them. He said Papua New Guinea is a nation of rule of law and that the rule of law must be facilitated by those who are educated.
I was visiting Ley for a program on Wafi Golpu, and the university students were there. I had to drop in. They received me very well. I want to say thank you to University of Technology students for their maturity and their honesty and sincerity to know what is best for the country. And we had a good meeting. I did inform them that there will be a team from the State Solicitor's Office, if not the State Solicitor himself, the Defense Secretary, the Foreign Affairs Secretary, and the Chief Secretary's Office to visit UNITEC and UPNG.
He added any issues of public concerns must be elevated to a proper final conduit, and he will be working closely with the public solicitor and his team of lawyers to address this and more.
I will now look into send word to our state solicitor and chief secretary to look into the office of the public solicitor. The office of the public solicitor as a key office to be looked at for any genuine complaint in society, especially key constitutional matters that the public feels that national government is doing and they feel that it has offended our national interest. Then I'm working to look into this public solicitor's office to be an office prepared to have a handle on genuine complaints raised in society.
Moso Marape added that if his government or any in the future is not performing right decisions for the country, it stands to be corrected for the betterment of every citizen because the country belongs to all.
Considering the intellectual conduct of our students, apart from some who like every student protest, try to stay up a protest from outside, but the general conduct of both UPNG and UNITEC students needs to be commended.
On his recent trip to Ley Morobe province, the Prime Minister visited aggrieved students at UNITEC and spoke to them. He intends to do the same with the students of UPNG after their exams upon his return from South Korea. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
The Pacific International Hospital inaugurated its new healthcare facility at the Deloitte House, downtown Port Moresby, yesterday afternoon. PIH CEO Colonel Sandeep Shaligram says this will be Pacific International Hospital's 5th medical center in Port Moresby.
The new clinic is to help fill a critical gap in the availability of medical facilities for those residing and working around the central business district of Port Moresby. The medical center has facilities for providing services like physician consultation, health checks, annual and pre-employment checks, laboratory investigations, pharmacy services, urgent care, childcare, and women's health. The PIH CEO further elaborates on the importance of establishing such facilities around the nation's capital.
Part of our expansion plan, we are making an effort to reach out to the people so that our patients and our clients are facilitated to see a doctor and seek quality healthcare services from the comfort of a locality very nearby to their offices are very nearby to the living areas.
He also mentioned that PIH has deployed its state-of-the-art nationwide web-based electronic medical records, which facilitates instant access of patient medical history and lab radiology results for clinicians from all locations.
Now, any patient who has been seen previously at any of our other centers, be it Ley, Mount Hagen, or any other place in Port Moresby, all their data is available at the flick of a button. The physician can access their past reports, their current reports, their previous data, history, everything on his computer. Any samples taken in last few days or on the same day, the results are available there. So this facilitates patients do not have to go to the main hospital for providing samples or collecting the reports or even making appointments.
With the interest of bringing health services closer to the people, the CEO added that PIH has plans to expand in the country.
Yeah, as part of our expansion plan, we already have a presence in Mount Hagen and Leh. We are also looking this year to expand into Kokopo and Goroka. And also we do specialist visits to various provincial hospitals and other places. So we would expand that this year and going to further remote places.
The new clinic, based in downtown, will be open to the public from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Natasha Avoy, National EMTV News.
The general public in Leh have been advised that the Police Leh Metropolitan Command's toll-free number is having an issue and will be sorted out once funding is received. This was revealed by Leh Metropolitan Commander Chief Superintendent Chris Kunyanban, who said the toll-free was a very good initiative set up to help police and the people, but the problem is that the toll-free is actually a standalone phone.
The Leh Metropolitan Superintendent Commander Chris Kunyanban said the toll-free number is not a properly organized call center where you have the capacity to invite a lot of callers at the same time. Kunyanban says they have submitted a proposal already to the Morobe provincial government and they have agreed to improve this service with funding. He advised the public to try other means of contacting the police to report crimes if the toll-free number is not responding. The superintendent apologized to the general public for the toll-free number issue and says if only he had funds, he will make this work for the people right away. Meanwhile, the superintendent admitted that although CCTV installed around the city has helped police a lot in carrying out their work, there are issues as well. The Leh police chief says they need to upskill their technicians on how to look after and handle such equipment. He says it is a new system and appeals to the police department to look at it as a way forward to minimize crimes in major centers in Papua New Guinea. Natasha Avoy, National EMTV News.
The traffic lights at the junction to Mount Hagen General Hospital along the 4-lane highway needs fixing. This concern is from drivers and pedestrians as the lights have not been working for a long time.
Western Highlands Provincial Police Commander John Sagom today said that the lights were said to have been damaged during a school fight 2 years ago. He added that fixing it was beyond the police control, but something for the City Commission to take note of. Motorists were using their own initiatives to give way to each other where the traffic lights are not working. PPC Sagom had said earlier this week that a lot of traffic accidents were due to careless driving. Meanwhile, in terms of cleanliness, Mount Hagen City youths are maintaining their duty to clean up and to observe city lawbreakers, something which has impressed visitors, according to Joel Hayako from Eastern Highlands Province, who was impressed with the application of the city authority laws.
I'm nice, I'm clean. Before I'm the crowd, I'm just stop at around now I'm clean, at least I'm free. Town I'm nice, passing the cleaning town, straight town, I'm maintaining myself now. At least I'm town, I'm town alright, I'm that city too.
Another visitor, but Nandi, also had this to say.
This time when I'm Southern Highlands now, town too. First time I'm looking pleasant change.
With the cleanliness of the city, visitors including public servants say they felt safer than before. Nixon Naimon, a primary school teacher, said the challenge is on leaders of other Highlands provinces to learn from Western Highlands when it comes to taking care of their provincial capital.
Now, provinces like Engan, Southern Highlands, people are come inside law. Western Highlands. All people, all Western Highlands, this like passing way me so you look at him province plengem, me like him this like I walk and get come up los member me plus Southern Highlands too. Na look at him Southern Highlands, na again enga too much one kind, Timbutu mas one kind or get a Highlands mas. Member Blomibla mas. Look at him town Blomibla yet.
It is understood that with the launching of the city rules and delivery of police vehicles recently by Governor Wairapa and local MP William Duma, the traffic lights in Mount Hagen City are expected to be fixed as well. Natasha Ovoy, National MTV News.
National MTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National MTV News. Moving on to overseas news now, and the 1967 referendum campaigners have marked their 56th anniversary in Australia.
We're here in Uluru Katajuta National Park on Arnanu Land for the anniversary of the Uluru Dialogue, the statement that was the catalyst for the referendum that will be held later this year. The anniversary was yesterday, but today is also an important milestone. It's been 56 years since the 1967 referendum. That was the vote that allowed Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to be counted in the census and gave the federal parliament the right to make laws about them. Now in 2023, families of those key campaigners from the 67 campaign are reflecting on what has changed and what hasn't in nearly half a century of the Aboriginal rights movement.
The notable thing about the 1967 referendum was the way that they brought Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people together at a very grassroots level, but also non-Indigenous people. Like, it had great advocates in the religious sectors, in the union movement. It was a wide people's movement, and that defined it.
A woman is in critical condition after an alleged hit-and-run incident in Melbourne.
Police say a car ran a red light in Point Cook just after 11 o'clock, crashing into another vehicle. The driver escaped the scene. A 25-year-old man was arrested a short time later.
We're just too often going to these collisions. It's happening daily. People aren't driving to the conditions. It was slightly wet tonight, but you've also got to obey the road rules. We've got people that are speeding, drinking, inattention. We really need people to concentrate. The road toll is almost out of control this year, and we just don't know when it's going to stop. So if people can just adhere to the road rules and just try and drive safely.
Investigations continue into a fire that was sparked in Sydney's Central Business District.
The 7-storey vacant building was to be developed as a luxury hotel but was engulfed by flames late Thursday. Fire and Rescue New South Wales says an external wall moved 70 millimetres overnight and there's still light smouldering from deep within the rubble. They say it's not safe for firefighters to enter the structure to extinguish the smouldering fires.
National MTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sport. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with the local sports, and the Pikinini volleyball program was officially launched today at the Tauranga Aquatic and Indoor Centre in Port Moresby. The occasion was officiated by PNG Sports Foundation President Albert Veratau, along with NCD Volleyball Association President Wally Irau.
I will be a champion volleyballer.
The event witnessed 6 clubs out of the 9 registered teams under the Pikinini volleyball program in attendance for the official launching today.
Just make sure you lock it in.
Also in attendance to officiate the program launching was PNG Sports Foundation CEO Albert Veratau alongside the NCDVA President Wally Irau, together with the NCDVA officials and others.
Keynote speaker Veratao highlighted that this initiative supports the Go Rural to Go Global policy put forward by the Sports Minister Don Paulier, and he is very delighted of what NCDVA is stepping into.
PNG Sports Foundation has a program called Go Rural to Go Global. That Go Rural to Go Global complements this program.
NCDVA President Wally Irau elaborated on the main purpose underlined within this initiative.
They will already learn more about volleyball. They'll be into the basics of volleyball. So they'll be more professional to play volleyball.
The launching today follows the jersey presentation of the 9 participating clubs under the program, which took place last Saturday. According to President Irau, the kickoff of the competition will commence next weekend and will follow the same round structure that is being used by the NCDVA competition. Lisa Punichukai Sports.
Meanwhile, during the official launching of the Pikinini volleyball program today, PNG Sports Foundation CEO Albert Veratao applauded NCDVA President Wally Irau together with his officials for the successful launching of the program.
PNG Sports Foundation Chief Executive Officer Albert Veratao says this initiative taken by NCD Volleyball Association to offer an opportunity for young volleyballers to build their skills is a very smart approach, and he would do whatever he can to support them.
We'll be watching them closely. Wherever we can, we will support them. But importantly, we need to invest in our children, because the children are our future.
He further added that this program is like a nursery that would mold and shape upcoming champion volleyball players who will represent the country in the coming years.
This is a nursery. What you're seeing is a beginning nursery for volleyball. What you will see in the rural areas is a nursery for different, and volleyball will also be part of that Go Rural, Go Global strategy. What we want to do is develop talent at a very young age, from 6-year-olds to 16-year-olds.
He concluded with a quote that the Prime Minister always recites during most of his address to the public.
Today is the time to do it. And the Prime Minister always says, if we can't do it today, when are we going to do it? If we don't do it, who's going to do it? So I'm glad that Wally and Andrew Kufu and the executives have started the Pikinini volleyball off.
Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Moving on to overseas sports now, and the Australia women's cricket team captain has been ruled off the Ashes tour due to medical reasons.
On the advice of CA medical staff, Lanning has been withdrawn from the squad due to a medical issue which requires management from home. A timeline for Lanning's return to play will become clearer in due course. Lisa Healy will captain the women's team throughout the upcoming Ashes series and will be supported by Tylee McGrath as vice-captain.
The Sydney Swans AFL season is back on track after they defeated Carlton last night at the SCG.
Lance Franklin was held goalless for the fourth time in 6 matches, but Justin McInerney was among several Swans to kick 2 goals. Charlie Curnow took a great grab, but like many Blues players, struggled in front of goal. Blues lost skipper Patrick Cripps, who hobbled off with an ankle injury. The Swans were up by 8 points at the final break and then kicked 3 goals in the fourth quarter to record back-to-back victories. The 11 goals, 11-77 to 6-15, 51 loss is the Blues' 4th straight defeat.
And the Melbourne Rebels' 52 points to 14 win over the Western Force has removed any hope for the Force to be in the Super Rugby League.
It follows the Rebels' thumping 52 points to 14 win over the Force in Melbourne. The bonus point victory keeps the Rebels in contention for a top 8 berth with 1 round remaining. The Force were in 8th but fell to 9th after the Highlanders upset the Queensland Reds in a 5-point thriller in the earlier match in Dunedin. The Reds ran the length of the field for an epic try, but the Highlanders scraped through in the final minute for a controversial try to turn a 2-point deficit into a 35-30 victory.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The Money Plus weather report for the next 24 hours is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Now we take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, Port Moresby City, cloudy periods with some rain showers. Daru, Kerema, Alatau, cloudy periods with occasional rain showers. Popondetta, partly cloudy with few showers. In Mombasa region, Lay City, mostly fine with possible evening showers and thunderstorms. Medang, partly cloudy with brief showers. Wewak and Vanimo, partly cloudy with few showers. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, Caving and Kimbe, partly cloudy with few showers. Kokopo and Rabaul, mostly fine. Buka, partly cloudy with brief showers. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen City, Goroka and Kondiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, cloudy periods with some rain showers and possible thunderstorms.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Saturday, the 27th of May, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Now we take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, Port Moresby City, cloudy periods with some rain showers. Daru, Kerema, Alatau, cloudy periods with occasional rain showers. Popondetta, partly cloudy with few showers. In Mombasa region, Lay City, mostly fine with possible evening showers and thunderstorms. Medang, partly cloudy with brief showers. Wewak and Vanimo, partly cloudy with few showers. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, Caving and Kimbe, partly cloudy with few showers. Kokopo and Rabaul, mostly fine. Buka, partly cloudy with brief showers. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen City, Goroka and Kondiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, cloudy periods with some rain showers and possible thunderstorms.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Saturday, the 27th of May, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.